what will you do to help more students graduate high school?
David Morris.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we have to focus on early childhood literacy, getting them up to that proper reading level, making sure they also have all the supports they need to focus on learning when they're in school. We know that a lot of our kids come from disadvantaged backgrounds, they come from traumatized backgrounds. We have to be able to identify those issues using the tools that we have and take action to help mitigate those so that they can focus on learning, and that way we'll be able to when they're in school focus on learning, we'll be able to probably increase graduation rates.
I think we. David Morris,
What?
More.
I think there's a lot of programming that we could add, including project-based learning, again, to make the curriculum relevant and engaging for our students. But I think it's really important that right off the bat that we look at the way that we are doing things now that are not inclusive for all of our students. I was just having a conversation with someone today about the use of technology in our schools, and that a big part of our students' grades depend on homework that they can only access if they have a computer at home, if they can get online. Otherwise, they're out of luck and their grade suffers. So I think that we're ignoring the realities for a lot of our families and placing expectations that just are not, they're just not reasonable for our community, and that's a big issue. I think as well, looking at our discipline policies and the way that we are using exclusionary discipline to push kids out of school rather than wrap our arms around them and keep them in and find out what we can do to support them.
Kevin Jackson.
So I certainly agree with what Morris said, that it is important that we catch children up at a very young age is the best practice. However, I am one that's very optimistic about the current generation that's in high school that may be failing, that we still have an opportunity to recover them, that they can graduate. And I think that it is important that, I work in a public place, in the public library. Every time I see a high school student walk into the library, if I have an opportunity, the first thing I say, what are you going to do for college? Because a lot of them have not even started to think about it. And so I believe that they need to start thinking about it and know, and they need to be able to have a mentor that can help them channel into that field, that they can also start to practice in that field now and see if there's something that they want to do, that they can already have an advantage and have a strong interest and be successful in those things when they graduate. And so we need a stronger intentional mentorship program, as Tandy mentioned earlier.
Thank you.
Graduation rates is one of the top, one of the board's goals. We look at graduation rates all the time and trying to figure out how we can improve them. If we have places or things in place trying to keep up with the reading and making sure they're on task with reading. There's all sorts of things that we look at on the board toward the graduation rates. And they have improved. They're not where we want them. And even though they're up since 2005, about 50%, even though population has only grown 25%, they are up, but we have a long ways to go to get them where we need to be.
Thank you. Anyone like me too?
Well, I just want to say, when we say that graduation are up, I still feel that the numbers are kind of skewed when you say when they're up, they're not up in a very balanced way. When you still have the minority percentage that's only climbing very slowly, that's something that we really need to work on. It's not really, to me, worth celebrating until we can change that. Yes, we are a district of the promise that is excellent and great, but if we don't got kids graduating, if we got kids graduating and not even prepared for college, we're failing them. We're not doing our job. And so we have to increase that in a balanced way. And we also have to do that, of course, for minorities as well, and more stronger and intentional about getting those graduation rates up, because that's what's down.